So we are going to, it's called a RAMP Accelerator Startup Pitch Fest.
For entrepreneurs.
For entrepreneurs. I just learned what accelerator is. So it should be fun to see these people pitch. It's their graduation day, and interested in some of the actual materials and stuff that they've been working on. So let's go see.
And we welcome you. This short program will give you a little orientation to what these teams have been all about. We definitely want to express appreciation to many who have assisted. And then we'll have each of the teams take 3 to 5 minutes, and they'll give you a short pitch.
Two pieces of the same heart, two halves of the same story, two harmonies to the same song, perfect fit and you're getting more, and the pieces fall into place. It's incredible.
We do have a crowd pitch favorite, so we'll let you mentally pick a winner, and we'll go online and we'll see who ends up winning, but they're all winners. We're excited about that. What is RAMP? These teams have been involved in about 9 different companies, 10 weeks, so this is the culmination of 10 weeks. What were you doing 10 weeks ago? These teams were meeting and starting to refine their business idea. They received 3 full-day training sessions on lean launch canvas and early stage startups. And then following that, 7 weeks of training and mentoring, literally hundreds of hours. 9 topical experts came and presented on various topics, peer reviews each week. Some very special events. We had a technology drill down where we had specialists really drilling down, does the technology work, what's the underlying assumptions behind it. We did some wow factor testing, which is consumer reaction to products. We did especially some prototyping for a number of the teams. We recognized that from the Davis Technical College, which was extremely valuable. Toured Parker Hannafin and Envy, and many of the teams have a free booth at Adventure Gear Expo, which is a consumer-oriented outdoor products trade show held at Snowbird later this month, June 28th. So the teams will have a booth there and get a lot of consumer reaction. So a nice package of all of these experiences for them from RAMP. These are the teams that we have here today, a couple that are long distance, but we want to have them all be recognized with a round of applause. Please, will you join me in supporting them? You'll hear from each of those. A project like RAMP really takes a community to help get it moved along, and it doesn't happen without tremendous support, especially from our main host, Uammi, the Davis Loan Fund, and Davis Technology College. We recognize SBA because SBA is a grant that Uammi received and won and pledged it to cover some of the expenses associated with RAMP, so thank you to the SBA. But I'd like to give the leaders of these 3 organizations just a quick minute to express their feelings of support. And let me just adjust the schedule a bit. And Mayor, let's invite Mayor Marc Shepard up, who's the chair of the Davis Loan Fund that underwrote a lot of the expenses, provided scholarships for the members of RAMP. Please.
Thank you. Well, thanks everyone. It is a pleasure for me to be here today and represent the Davis Loan Fund. As Craig mentioned, when they came to us a year or so ago and talked to us about the program and its meaning, we really felt this is something we needed to be involved with. The Davis Loan Fund is about helping entrepreneurs, helping small businesses grow and expand from infancy up to, again, just full-blown expansion. We had the opportunity last week to sit down and listen to each of these presenters, each of these innovators give their presentations and realize that what we had invested in was the right thing. it's always a comfort to see what you've invested in when you take that risk and someone says you really ought to get involved, and you say, wow, let's go to the board and convince the board that we need to donate. Probably the best thing I think we've invested in a long time. To see these amazing folks here, these innovators, and the products that they've created, and their ability to change lives, to change the industries that they're jumping into. We're excited to be able to help them as they come to us and look for funding, look for some abilities. Those that will stay here in the county, we're excited to have them here. So, Craig, thanks for getting us involved, and to our innovators here, to our inventors. Thank you for the efforts you're putting in, and we wish you all the best and success in your industries. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now up Jeff Edwards, Executive Director of Uammi, and following Jeff, we'll have your President of the DTC.
Thanks, Craig, and thanks, Mayor Shepherd. My name is Jeff Edwards. I'm the Executive Director of the Utah Advanced Materials and Manufacturing Initiative. We affectionately call ourselves Uammi, and it's a lot of fun to be part of this. Uammi's purpose is to try to find ways to accelerate the growth of the advanced materials industry in the state. And we have thought a lot about how to do that. We've tried to do a substantial outreach to the industry to get to know who's out there and where they are and try to help be a connector. We're also trying to get Utah companies out on the international marketplace. And in fact, next week we're taking companies to 2 trade shows, one in Germany at the Airbus Research Facility in Hamburg. The week after that, it's the Paris Air Show. We've got 6 companies coming to that, along with partners with GoEd. It's just things that I think we're trying to be a catalyst to help move those things forward. We also sponsor our own events called the Crosstalk, where we get people together, and we are also trying to be a consultant through this SBA contract as well. But what's the point of RAMP? Why did we decide to support RAMP? Craig came up with this idea as we won this SBA contract about what could we do to reach out in a different way. And to me, the real purpose and the awesome part of RAMP is that now we get to help, instead of existing companies that are out there like Northrop and Boeing and guys like that, let's go to the other end of the spectrum and see what can we do to help entrepreneurs or early stage companies to move forward. So when Craig brought this idea forward, we just really were excited about that, especially when we were able to get support from Davis County, a very new and novel program for them. This is way outside the box for that program. And this is, I think, an excellent use of those funds to do that. But we got a great team of experts. Craig and Grow Utah has got decades of experience in helping early stage companies. The folks you're going to meet today and hear from all have that same experience. And as I sat here listening to the programs, to hear the Class A top quality programs that were being taught and the mentors that were available to do all this work, it's really exceptional. I hope you realize that the ideas that you're seeing today and the things that you're going to look at, we'll look back at some of these guys and say, oh yeah, I remember those guys. We met those guys at RAMP, and here they are with a whole new company and a whole new industry. This is where new industries come from. This is the whole point of incubation, to do that. Let me close this by saying one thing. In our name, we have advanced materials and advanced manufacturing. And I think I like to think of ourselves as being the guys to advance manufacturing. Manufacturing's got all different kinds of flavors, and you know, we all work in it, and some of you have manufacturing companies of your own. But change is coming. Change is coming to our industry, and if you're ready to find it and embrace it and move ahead with it, it's going to change the world again. My favorite example is one that we just got done with a couple of weeks ago. You all know that in the first part of May, there was the 150th anniversary of the Transcontinental Railroad. Fox County did an awesome job with that. Rebecca, way to go. You're part of the turf up there. What an amazing event that was to celebrate that. And a few weeks before that, Parker Hannafin and Ogden opened a brand new part of their facility. Those guys are state-of-the-art, traditional machining guys. They've been making parts there for 40 years, aerospace parts for Boeing and everybody else. They just bought and opened a new $2.5 million advanced manufacturing center using 3D metal printers from GE. They're now making 3D metal parts. They're trying to get them flight qualified by the FAA to use them for all the different airplanes that are out there. Teresa Foxley from EDCU and I approached them and said, hey, what about this idea? What about if you guys were to go and make a replica of the Golden Spike and make it using 3D printing and make it out of titanium and take it up there to the event? And we did that. We got a little booth up there. We went up, we were part of the celebration. And I thought, what an interesting moment. You're looking back at the history and all the impact that that had on America and on the world, and this very cool golden spike that was there. And then on the other hand, you've got this company in Ogden that's making a new version of that same spike using a brand new state-of-the-art process and out of a new material like titanium. That's what this is about. And to me, that's the exciting part about being part of this. And being in the room with the group of you that are here with all these great ideas is very exciting for me. So again, thank you for being here, and let's see where RAMP takes us. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff, you're always so well spoken. And I certainly agree with everything you said. And to our good mayor, thank you also for the support of Davis County. We've got several Davis County representatives in the audience and some alumni who helped make this possible. Thank you to you. It was easy. When Craig Bob comes and says, I have an idea, you just ask, can I be part of it? Craig's got the golden touch, and he recognized an opportunity, as Jeff explained it, to work at the other end of the spectrum, to build capacity on the entrepreneurial side. You know, in my role, there's not a week that doesn't go by that I don't see something new going on in advanced materials and manufacturing that's exciting. The rate of expansion of this technology or these technologies is so fast and so broad that it creates opportunities that we can't even comprehend. And I think from what I've seen here today, many of you have latched on to that and have some brilliant ideas. But I simply want to say thank you for the opportunity to host this. Thank you for thinking of us. We're not a research university. We're a technical college. We offer 35 programs, none of which is longer than 1,200 hours. We don't grant degrees. We don't grant credit. That's deliberate. We give certificates. We teach competencies that are in demand at this moment in industry. And we ebb and wane with those industries to ensure that we're teaching market-relevant competencies. And so it's fun to have things like this on campus because we don't get to do that a lot. But we do host our research university and Weber State and others here from time to time because they make use of our labs, and it's fun to interact. It's fun for our students. It's fun for our world-class faculty. And that's who I wanted to thank most of all is, yes, we got to participate and we got to host it, but I understand that several of you lean pretty heavily on our machining program, our composites program, and to our faculty. Where did everybody go? Wes, I see you. Where's Doug? Doug Lydia had his pizza left. Well, I want to recognize Wes Hobbs and Doug, and John, and our composites program, Matt. When I travel with our composites faculty anywhere, it's like traveling with royalty. The folks line up to talk to these guys about our composites program. In fact, we may soon have the opportunity to export our composites program around the country with a national grant where we may be standing up some similar programs around the country. But also to our machining, our CNC machining folks, Troy Winchester, Mark Dave, I know some of you work with them, and our thanks to them. And then, while I've still got the mic, I'm talking to you guys that are making noise right here. The young folks. Think about technical education. We do cool stuff here. You see this stuff you walked around and saw today? That's the kind of stuff we teach our students to do. And when you go to high school, remember this, you can come here for free, okay? All right. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you very much. I tell you what, that kind of support you couldn't help but with. There are a number of other sponsors of RAMP. You see some of these great names. They're not household names, but in our circle, they definitely are. They represent the skill set and the services that are most critical. And we have in the audience some representatives from each of these. I'd like to invite them up front to receive your applause and receive an expression of appreciation and a gift from us. Chris, come on up. Sarah, Ginger, come on up. John at the back. Aaron, please. All of these good folks have helped in one way or another. Guy, come on up. We reached out to our good friends at Cotopaxi who take a portion of the product that they sell and they do some good things around the world. And they created a wonderful metal flask that has RAMP on it. So our appreciation to each of you, and especially John, come on up, you just walked in. We want to recognize John Richards from Startup Ignition, who laid the foundation for RAMP especially. Thank you. Dr. John, a big round of applause to all of these folks. Thank you. We'll return you to your seats. Through the course of 10 weeks, there have been a handful of people who have been very instrumental in working weekly, and even in between those sessions with each of the teams. And these are our master mentors. I want to invite them up and receive an expression of appreciation. Scott, David, Byrne is traveling, and I think Brent Strong is traveling. And we definitely could not move forward. These are folks that have expertise in composites and manufacturing and run their own businesses. And you see who they are and who they represent. Our congratulations and appreciation and a round of applause for them. So what is really RAMP all about? You take a look at this list of topics. And many of these topics were delivered in our first 3 full days of training that John Richards and Startup Ignition provided. A tremendous foundation for operating a business, and then move beyond that and saying how you create a business using these topics and addressing them, all really with the idea of a simple formula. Create something of great value that is more value than it costs the customer, and deliver that value to the customer at a cost less than what you can get from them in payment. So a simple formula for success for a business. And to capture all of that on one page in a lean canvas, which is really a new way of thinking about how do I launch a business. And that's really what the 10 weeks was all about. To represent the participants, we've invited Tyler Margins from LR Dynamics to share a brief experience so you can get a sense in the audience of what was it really like to participate in RAMP. And then we'll hear from each of the teams themselves. Tyler, come on up.
So I think I'm a little bit of the black sheep in this group, which is probably why I'm presenting now instead of for the rest of it. But so we're a 70-year-old startup. I bought into my family's business last year. We were started in 1949, just after World War II. My grandfather and his brother started our business. We're a traditional manufacturing company. We have a foundry and a machine shop. We produce aluminum products. We're our own biggest customer. We produce hoist systems that raise and lower basketball hoops in school gyms. So very much a niche product. Next time you're in a school, you can look up in the rafters and see our products that no one ever notices. But we notice them. We've been producing them for several decades now. So that's our business. And when I came into the program, one thing that I am trying to do for our business is to grow something from a really strong and stable foundation that's been in business for 70 years. And I came from the software industry. I grew up in the business, but went to software for a while. And so I think I looked at traditional manufacturing very differently from the previous generations in our business. And one of the things that I'm looking at, and that RAMP was very helpful in doing, was exploring what other opportunities there are for our business. Instead of looking so myopically at the aluminum industry, I wanted to see, well, what if we got into 3D printing? What if we did more aerospace work? What if we did different products? And RAMP enabled me to come in and dedicate some time to evaluating that question and exploring what things we could do as a business that we've never thought of before. And so through the program, things have morphed a little bit. We're still looking at 3D printing. I have a lot more information than I ever had before and can look at it in a better way. And then we're also expanding through acquisitions. So we're starting to look at purchasing other manufacturing companies, building our capabilities, and growing like that. And so it was very valuable for me. The mentors that I have in my existing business know my industry and have been in my industry. And so it was really actually fascinating to come here and work with people mentors here who were in a completely different industry. And that helps me to ask different questions and to even get introductions to places that I would have never been introduced to otherwise. And that by itself, I think, will make a significant impact on my business in the future. And I'm looking forward to continuing our company and growing from here and through either new products or new services because of the questions I've been able to ask in this program. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Thanks.
I'm going to turn the time over to Justin, and he will lead the presentations from each of the teams. So, Justin.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're excited now to hear from the companies. And part of the 10-week program that we've gone through is really focused on pitching. And a pitch is, as you know, something that you're going to use a lot. Entrepreneurs use it when they're pitching for money, when they're trying to get people to join the company, when they're trying to get their grandma and grandpa to loan them money, whatever they're doing. They're always pitching. So we're going to invite these companies up. We've practiced with them, and we're excited to hear from them now. At the end of this, we're going to have a crowd vote where you can get on your phone and you can text a number and vote for your favorite. So be paying attention to which ones, the crowd favorite is kind of ambiguous, but it really just means, which one you like the most, which one you think is going to go the farthest, which one has the best business model, things like that. So let's turn it over now, and we'll first hear from Will Davis at COM.
Close. Okay. Okay. I'm William Davis, CEO of Tahoma. I'm going to show you how we're making climbing safer for everyone around the world. I love rock climbing. I've traveled all over the world pursuing experiences in wild and remote places that you wouldn't be able to with other sports. And with climbing, it's important to be safe, obviously. And the most important part about safety is actually communication between the one climbing and the one belaying, the one who manages the rope. And often in climbing, you need to say things back and forth like, I'm on the rope, if you fall, you can catch me, I'll be safe. Or I'm done climbing and want to come down. But when you're out in wild and remote places, you can't hear each other. There's rocks in the way, you're too far apart, there's too much wind, there's not cell phone service, you can't get to your cell phone. And so now in the industry, people just wing it, and this creates risk. And this risk makes the difference between having a cool picture for social media with your friends or becoming a headline. All of these stories have the exact same plot. An experienced rock climber made one miscommunication, and it was fatal. 1,500 people learn to rock climb every single day in the United States alone, creating a precedent to help beginners and experienced climbers communicate more safely. And so we created COM. It's a lightweight, low-power communication device that does not rely on audio to send messages back and forth. Our prototypes use buttons and LEDs to send simple messages back and forth. We have a confirmed range of 1,000 feet when any given rope is only 200 feet long. And what we decided to do, back up. And so our communication, like I mentioned, is new in the industry. It forward corrects, so if there's an error, the device that it's sending a message to will know what the problem is. So we have a durable and lightweight housing. Thanks to Davis Technical College, we're able to prototype and build some aluminum housings, which allow our devices to last when you're out rock climbing because things get banged around, things get broken. And like we mentioned, we're using LEDs and buttons to send messages, and we're using an e-ink stream, just like an e-book, where it doesn't clear and it's ultra low power, so we can send messages effectively. And for those who are wondering, what if I accidentally push a button, and what if it could kill someone? And so there's actually one command that does that. And so our solution to that is we're making a locking slide bar that requires both hands so that you cannot accidentally send a message that can be fatal. So our ask is $120,000 for our first seed round to begin our North American launch, which will be in November, to help us prepare for distribution channels, which buy for April. We're Tahoma, thank you.
job. For all of our, hold on, Will, for all of our participants here, we've got a water bottle from Cotopaxi with the RAMP logo on the certificate. Thanks, Will. All right. Okay, now we're going to invite up Daniel with Continuum. What's your wife's name?
Hey. All right, everybody take a deep breath. I always like to start with that. Because all those toxins you just breathed in, that comes from the refinery down the road. Most plastics are petroleum products. We've got a whole bunch of refineries down the road producing plastics as well as all this garbage. After an outdoor product is used, they usually end up here in West Valley City in a landfill. As bad as the products environmentally are, we view the supply chain issue even worse. Whenever you have a linear supply chain, everybody gets bumped and the person at the end gets the raw deal. So what we need is a circular system where products as well as labor complete the circle and feeds itself. The problem with outdoor products are two things. One, there's no mechanism to recycle. You can't put your pair of skis into a blue bin and hope that the city takes care of it. So there's no general mechanism for recycling. And then the second thing that's really tough are composites. As soon as you bond a perfectly good piece of wood that's biodegradable to epoxy, you've now destroyed that wood for 1 billion years. So there's two real tough things about sporting good recycling. What we need to do is to disassemble the composite, harvest all those raw materials, and then reuse those materials into new products. This is what we're doing now, by the way. So to drill down a little bit on what we're doing, it all starts with product design. We're designing the product from scratch. The materials in it, as well as the disassembly process, everything starts at the beginning. So you have to use our epoxy for the whole system to work. Next, we disassemble using a low energy chemical process that's easy to do and harnesses all the materials almost in virgin state. Once we produce all those raw materials from the composite, we can then compound those materials into new materials and use those in new products. And back around it goes. So we are the Continuum. We are a continuous loop manufacturer. We build outdoor products, we recycle those products, and we build new products from the raw materials. Thanks.
Congratulations, thank you. Awesome. I should point out too that the epoxy itself, right, Daniel, is a special epoxy that's recyclable.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Any questions? Whatever, I'm over it.
Yeah. He's got some skis and I think a bunch of stuff you can see there. Okay, great. Let's now move to Jordan and Isotruss. These guys come all the way from the Golden Valley of Utah Valley.
Thank you, Justin. Before we start, we would just like to thank Grow Utah and this opportunity with Craig and Justin, also with John, and then all of the experts and all the mentors that have helped us. So we're Isotruss Industries. Let's see. So we make extremely lightweight composite structures. And our first target market is with cell phone towers. So the problem with cell phone towers is both on the installation side, but then also on the long-term side. So on the maintenance side, we have big issues with large foundations and the installation time. It's very hard, very big foundations, and costs very costly, and the shipping charges on these heavy towers is also very high. On the long-term thing, we see a lot of corrosion and maintenance. This picture here is a picture that I took in the Philippines when we visited a cell tower company last year. they have to strip this tower down every other year and repaint it because of corrosion. It takes them a month. So every other year, they have a crew working for a month just to maintain this tower. So these big towers companies that have 40,000 sites are having a tough time with maintenance. And then again, on permitting, some of the smaller things, if you're putting them on rooftop, they can be too heavy, so it's too much on the roof. So all of these are some of the issues, the pain points that these telecommunication companies are seeing. And with the growth of 5G, they need a faster, quicker, cheaper, and easier to maintain solution.
So our solution is a combination of a patented, unique geometry and carbon fiber. And so we are 10 times lighter than steel, we are inherently non-corroding, and we give smaller foundations, and it's so light that you could literally strap sections to your Altima and drive it to wherever you need to.
We took a section to a trade show in Florida, so we drove a 20-foot section on the top of our car down to Florida. So these are the main pain points that we've seen, but even shipping and installation time and other costs. I just got off the phone earlier today with one of the largest tower companies in the world, Crown Castle, and they called and said, hey, we have a site that goes across a bridge that only has a certain weight capacity. We can't even take our tower across that site. We need your tower so we can even get to the site and put it up. So these are some of the things that the lightweight composite nature can solve. So as a company, we've been in development for a while. We're looking to build out manufacturing. So we're currently raising $3 million. $1 million of that will go to the facility, and then for some new hires, operational costs, and marketing. Thank you.
Great job. Gift for you, certificate. So did you get pulled over at all on the way to Florida?
No. We had documents, we were ready to be pulled over, but
Awesome. That would have been a sight to see. All right, let's see, Carl. Let's hear from Carl now with Eco Fibers.
My name is Carl Dilge, and I and my partner started a company, and what we're dealing with is we're trying to produce eco fibers using eco resins. One of the problems is that, as stated before, is that using synthetic materials, they're not biodegradable and they don't have an end of life property. What we're capable of doing is I brought a sample in using a conventional fiber with a conventional epoxy resin. What we're able to do is we're able to weave particular properties into our fabric here. This here is a 30-60 degree angle weave pattern. This is superior to a woven product that is a pre-grade product with resin put on it, because we don't have distortion, we don't have some of the stress factors in our product, and we can deliver from 0 to 90 degree orientation of the warp and fill fibers. This is currently what we're capable of doing. What we want to do is we want to move into using eco fibers, and some of the examples of the eco fibers that we're working with are flax, canaf, jute, banana fibers, coconut fibers, silk, those types of fibers that can be impregnated with a resin system. Currently, there are few products that use 100% eco fibers and 100% eco resins because there hasn't been enough research done and enough perfecting of the processing of these fibers. And so what we're seeking to do is we're seeking to grow this portion of our business here with conventional fibers and resin systems, and slowly move into the eco fiber and eco resin systems. And in order to do that, we're looking for seed funding, angel funding, seed cap type funding to build some of our equipment that we've developed, and that gives us the capability of doing this. I'd also like to thank a couple people too. I want to thank Craig Bott and what he did, he kind of encapsulated everything. And John Richards was just like dynamite in particular, his son came and gave a presentation one day that was just absolutely unbelievable. He captivated my attention and really helped kind of motivate me through the program, so thanks a lot, appreciate that.
That's fascinating material. Thank you. We'll now hear from Cameron Turnbull with Architect. Cameron.
Yeah, I just want to put in a plug. I really appreciate the opportunity to participate in this accelerator program. The mentoring was really invaluable. But a little bit about us. We are a new take on outdoor hydration. So this last year alone, over 150 million Americans did some sort of outdoor activity. It's a huge part of our lifestyles. It's a huge market. There's a lot of people do these activities. But a common thread between all these is hydration and water. There's not really some kind of main exhibit for it. It's more of a distraction, really. And good evidence of that is a recent study found that 50% of hikers out on the trail are actually underhydrated. And there's a lot of different solutions for this. Currently, we want to talk a little bit about bladders and water bottles. These are well-revered options for good reasons, but they're not without their challenges. With bladders, you have an issue with leaks. There's also the water temperatures, and a lot of people complain about the plasticky, it's not even a word, taste that comes from these bladders. With water bottles, they're kind of inconvenient. You have to reach into your backpack every time. They're round shaped, which your back is not. And it feels uncomfortable. Or you can clip it to the outside on either your belt or your backpack, and then you get this wrecking ball property as it swings as you walk or hits people in the faces. So what we look to do is we want to develop a solution that captures the best of both these worlds with the downsides with neither. What we've developed is an ergonomic reservoir. It is dual layered with insulation so that you get the same insulating properties of the stainless steel water bottles that are catching on with great popularity, and they're handing out a bunch of them today. But also, it's going to be sleek, ergonomic, and fit into the hydration slot of any backpack so that it can capture that same convenience. Also be easier to clean, be lighter than the solution, and also far more durable. The traction we received so far with this is we've entered into one of the largest competitions for startups, and we did really quite well. We were a finalist and an honorable mention out of many entrants. And we also had the opportunity to participate in RAMP and be able to validate the idea and get going forward with the patent pending. The ask that we are looking for is, even though we are planning to do a crowdfunding campaign with this, one of the biggest challenges for companies who have a successful crowdfunding campaign is actually delivering the promised product, the promised reward to their backers on time. And so with with some funding in the short run, we'll be able to not only launch a successful campaign, but make all the preparations needed to be able to hit the ground running and deliver to our backers a high quality functioning finished product. And that's kind of the goal that you want to do with any crowdfunding campaign, because that kind of gives you the momentum going forward to be able to really launch your company going forward. But that's kind of our pitch, and want to thank you all for the time.
This unergonomic wrecking ball. Water bottle. Here we go. There's the certificate, Cameron. Yeah, that just, our water bottle does not go with anything in his life. Okay, last but certainly not least, we're excited to hear from Kyle Stringham with Pure Track. Look at this. Wow. All the way from the Himalayas. Here it is.
The wrecking balls.
I'm Kyle Stringham, founder of PureTrek. So, like many of us, I like to hike and backpack in the outdoors, but all of us have a problem. We need to hydrate and we need to drink enough water. As many outdoor enthusiasts will tell you, carrying enough water is heavy and cumbersome. So, what can you do about this problem? The only alternative currently is to use water filtration gear and to filter water along the way. This causes the issue of taking off your backpack, digging into the bottom of your backpack, and then getting out all your filtration gear to filter water, right? Okay. But, what if I told you I had a solution? What if I told you we've combined a filter with an already commonly used item in hiking, a trekking pole? Ladies and gentlemen, this is PureTrek, the world's first 2-in-1 trekking pole and water filtration system. PureTrek allows you to filter water right through a pole. To use PureTrek, you just put the end of the pole in the water, pump the handle, cold, purified water, we don't know about cold, but it will come out the top through a fixed drinking tube which conveniently stores in your handle. Now, PureTrek is a 2-in-1 solution to the cumbersome issue of carrying heavy water on the trail. And backpackers and hikers, we've just never had an answer to that. So our traction with PureTrek is something that's been really exciting. PureTrek was created over 3 years ago as I was hiking through the backcountry of Yellowstone. Since then, to prove our market, we did a Kickstarter campaign, 520 units sold with $51,000 raised. Since then, we wanted to protect our IP, and so we filed a total of 24 patents along the way, and that's in different countries around the world. And so what we're doing at PureTrek is we're really trying to hit a market that's pretty amazing. And so with PureTrek, our market size and our ability to raise, the market size for hiking and hydration is $16 billion. And we feel that we have a serviceable, addressable market of $1.3 billion, which gives us a $67 million possibility, we'll call it. But anyways, that would be for our ask. For PureTrek, we're asking for $250,000 for 15%, and this is going to help us to move on to our manufacturers in China and also deliver on our Kickstarters and give us enough to start turning over that revenue to move into the outdoor market and take it by storm. Thank you so much.
Now we are giving more water bottles to a company that doesn't even need them. So, here you go.
What's that? Oh, yes. This is Taylor with PureTrek. My apologies. Part of our team. And also, a big thanks to Swarm and everyone that's helped us along the way. Justin Bott and Mr. Craig Bott, Mr. John Richards, David, Scott, Byrne, everyone, you guys. This was an amazing program. And you guys have pushed us twice. I mean, I'm 4 times further after 3 years at this just by going through this program. So thank you all. We really appreciate it.
Okay, well, some great presentations. Thank you to all the teams. And we're now going to vote. Like I said, we have a little prize for the top 3 crowd favorites. Again, the crowd favorites a little bit ambiguous, but it's really all about who you like the most, who you think can do the best, who has the best business model. So go to that number at the top there, and then these numbers next to the businesses, text that. So you're going to basically text the 650-600-9016. In the body of the text, you'll put one of these numbers. And when you put that number in, just send a text, and your votes should start showing up. Okay. Okay. Anybody else need a second? What's that?
No, we can do it.
All right, I think we got it. Okay. We're gonna go with Pure Tread and then Eco Fiber and Calm. Why don't you guys come up? So for Pure Tread, we've got our wonderful friends at Envy donated a couple hats and some shirts. So we got a shirt here and an Amazon gift card for you, Kyle. And then for you two guys, we've got a nice Envy shirt and hat. Thanks to Scott Nielsen, the Envy team. Awesome, guys. Congratulations. Super round of applause.
Well, we're at the end of our short time together. We're going to allow you to have some time to get back, visit the tables. Our congratulations to everyone. What will we be doing with RAMP going forward? All the sponsors will gather. We'll reevaluate all of this through the remainder of the summer. We'll host some regional RAMP boot camps. So if you're thinking, I know somebody who would benefit by this program, let us know. And we'll take applications in the fall for a 2020 cohort. That's the plan right now. But our appreciation to all of you for being here, for participating, and congratulations to you all. Another round of applause for all the fun. Thank you. Enjoy mingling.